365 Sports is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/365 and get on your way to being your best self. What are some things you want to keep the same about yourself or your life in 2024? Were you already crushing it? Think opposite of New Year, New You. Around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Maybe you finally organized one part of your space and you want to tackle another, or maybe you're taking your supplements every morning and now you want to actually eat breakfast too. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. BetterHelp.com is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/365 today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/365.
Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
Thirsty Thursday.
Welcome to Bloody Happy Hour.
We are drinking on some White Claw. And we have our beautiful cups on the table. If you don't watch us on YouTube, go right now.
How dare you?
And look at our cups. Shout out to listener Misty McCombs.
I feel like I need the black one and you need the white one.
No, after you go to that Trump rally, you do not deserve to have anything black, actually. What does the back of this cup say?
Stay aware, stay alive, and always be GTF.
Y'all, you guys can have these made too. We love them. They're going to officially be our happy hour, Bloody Happy Hour cups. And all you have to do is either one, go to Idle Hands Crafts and More Facebook page, okay? Or you can email Misty at idlehandscrafts, just the letter N, more @gmail.com. And you can have you one made and bring it and drink out of it for our next mixer/live show. Woo-hoo. If you are not watching us and you want to see what they look like, go to our Bloody Happy Hour Instagram or Twitter or Facebook page because you will see those pictures and they are legit.
Or you can watch this not live, but on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
What else is happening? Anything we need to touch up on or nothing? I guess not. I did swipe right.
Okay.
And this guy literally looks like a vampire with his eyes. They're beautiful.
Oh.
Then he was like, well, do you want to go? Do you want to go? He sent me a screenshot of some trails in Cameron Park.
Oh, shit.
And so I was like, oh, my gosh, this guy's beautiful. And then he said... He's like, I like mountain biking. We could go mountain biking Cameron Park. And I was like, oh, hell, you trying to murder me? And so I sent it to my coworker boss lady, and she was like, I was like, I'm definitely going to be murdered if I go out with this guy.
Did you go?
I just started talking to him this week.
Oh, okay.
So by the time you hear this, if I'm still alive, because I think we are going to, I probably am going to go to the trails.
I do know the trails like the back of my hand. I got them all in my head, so I would at least be able to find you. I'm gonna need you to maybe say I'll meet you for coffee when you get off the trails, or a drink.
Okay, I'll meet him in a public place, like my house.
We just told them 2 weeks ago that you have matured and grown.
No, I said that I recognize red flags. It doesn't mean that I will abide by the rules. I will try.
Oh, goodness, y'all. Okay, so I got a story for you guys. If you're drinking, you're definitely going to need to pour you another drink for this episode. If you are not drinking, then you should. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, obviously you're not having any fun.
I took a couple weeks off from Texas.
Oh, we're back in Texas. Pretty soon you're going to be reporting on my murder. It'll be like, oh, body found in the woods on Cameron Park Trail.
I don't know how I just keep getting lured back to Texas, but I did.
It's fine.
But I was supposed to tell this story because you'll find out in a minute. And this is going to be a quickie because there's not a lot of information on this story.
Ooh, yeah.
So I kind of finished it and I was like, ooh, I got so many questions, but there's just not a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
But what there is a lot of footage.
I love footage.
Videos and confession tapes. And so get ready. Let's meet a guy named Kevin Davis. Okay?
Sounds like a movie star.
We're going to Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh.
I used to live there, so I was really interested in this.
Oh.
So I'm going to say trigger, 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 trigger.
What episode is not triggered?
I know. So, but I don't want you to tell you what the triggers are because I don't want to scoop the story. So if you're a first-time listener and you don't like details and you don't like explicit and you don't like hearing all the gory stuff, this is probably not the podcast for you.
Or we'll tell you where to fast forward. I don't know.
Or if you love it, then this is the episode for you because Caroline and I love the details.
I do.
Let me introduce you to Kevin Davis. He was born in 1955, and his mom's name was Kimberly Hill. There's not much information about his dad. All we know is dad left him at a young age. Mom was a single mom. He left Kevin at a young age. Now, I was like, looked at a picture of Kevin, and it does look like he is half black or half something. He's biracial, but mom is white. So then I was like, way to go to be the stereotype black dad. Yeah. To just leave, when they're pregnant, but he gone. So maybe that's a red flag. We'll see later on. Dad leaves at a young age. Kevin also has a sister. She was about 6 years older than him. And they live in Corpus Christi. Now, right now, at the time that we're about to talk about, Kevin and his mom live together in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Windrush apartment complex. All you Corpus Christi listeners, and it's apartment 1707.
Oh.
Kimberly was a hospice caretaker. So they never said nurse, so she was probably one of the ones that kind of comes at the end and helps them have a happy ending, I guess. Yeah. She was described by both kids, Kevin and Sister Desiree, as a great mother, the world's best mother, and she did anything and everything that she could for her children. Oh, okay?
That's so nice.
Kevin, though, was described as bizarre.
Bizarre? He
an
wasn't...
outcast.
Oh.
A loner.
Oh.
Very awkward. Socially awkward. And as far as grades, he was just like a mediocre student. He was good at English, but like everything else was like, C means continue on. And
kind of sounds like me a little bit. Bizarre, mediocre student.
He was not involved in any sports or any clubs in school. He just kind of like went to school and went home.
No, it's not me.
And that's really all we know about Kevin's childhood, is that it was just him and his mom and his sister, and dad left.
Just kind of...
Yeah, that's it.
Normal, little under the radar. Yeah.
So let's go to March 27th, which when I found this story, guess what date it was?
March 27th.
March 27th.
Oh, my God.
And we're in 2014.
Okay.
Kevin is 18 years old at this time. Mm-hmm. Now, on this day, for some reason...
he's still in school. He's about to graduate.
He had just...
I guess if it's March.
But I think he was done, so maybe he was an early graduate.
Not important.
Yeah. Because I wondered too, and I really couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So Kevin was contemplating suicide on this day.
Oh.
He said that he was bored with life. He did not like life. He did not like people. And he was just tired of living a mundane life.
He needs some excitement.
He needed some excitement. He gives himself some excitement.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he decided to ask his mom for permission to kill himself.
Oh. Okay, well, he's thoughtful.
So at first, she was caught off guard and distraught
Clearly.
by his
Request.
yes. But then he later says that she was just like, you know what? You're a grown man. I cannot control your actions. And if you did it, I would just have to deal with it.
I'm going to need you to not say that.
I know.
That is. Go call a psychologist or go take him straight to the department.
Alert.
Mama of the year. What the hell?
If anybody
If
ever
my
says
dog
that-
came up to me and told me he was going to kill himself, I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with no, you better not. Do not jump off that bridge.
Well, and I was like, what? How do you just skim over that and just say?
She's like, well, I am kind of sick of him.
now, well, and what we later find out is that he might have had this conversation frequently, so she was probably just like, fucking go do it.
Oh, shit.
So he wore out, I guess, the suicide conversation.
He probably was like, said it so many times, and he's like,
She's just
you're
like,
not,
okay,
you're really not going to do
let me just
this.
call your bluff. So
Oh, no.
then, after she said, I'll just have to deal with it, like it's your choice, you're a grown man, she called up his sister who lived in another apartment down the road, and she said, Desiree, Kevin's just going to need to come live with you. He just needs to get out of the house. He needs a different change of scenery. Can you come get him here in a little bit? Come get him. So she felt like Kevin needed to get out of the house, needed a change of scenery, because he didn't have a lot of friends. And he never went anywhere. He played video games all day long.
Oh, there you go.
And he did not even drive. So if he had to go somewhere, he would either have to get a ride or he'd have to ride his bike as an 18-year-old male boy. Now, this phone call to his sister pissed Kevin off because he was like, I just told you I was going to kill myself. And not only did you tell me to basically do it, now you want me to, like, get out of your way.
Oh,
leave.
no.
So he later says that his mom would send him to his sister's a lot, and he felt like it was because she was bothered by him.
Clear. Yeah.
Yeah, she needed a break from him. Oh, no. So
How much older is his sister?
6 years older. So she's
Okay.
got her own life. He's 18, and whatever 18 plus 6 is, she's got her own apartment. She's got her own life. Later that evening, he left his house on his bike. And about 9 p.m., he knocked on a random person's door. He asked them to use their phone to call the police. And they were like, why? Because this is 2014. Why don't you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
He says, I had just murdered someone. Can I please use your phone?
Oh, hell no.
What do you do?
I close the door and I go run inside.
I'll say, yeah, I would call. I would say, okay, I
Yeah.
will call for you, but you're not going to come in. I'm probably not going to give you my phone. Like, it's not going to happen. So,
365 Sports is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/365 and get on your way to being your best self. What are some things you want to keep the same about yourself or your life in 2024? Were you already crushing it? Think opposite of New Year, New You. Around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Maybe you finally organized one part of your space and you want to tackle another, or maybe you're taking your supplements every morning and now you want to actually eat breakfast too. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. BetterHelp.com is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/365 today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/365.
This episode is brought to you by Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+. Rated TV MALV. Viewer discretion advised. Maya Lopez has betrayed her mentor, the notorious Kingpin. Now on the run, she returns to her hometown to prepare for the biggest fight of her life. Don't miss Marvel Studios' hardest-hitting series yet. An epic 5-episode event. Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+.
He calls the police, and they show up immediately to where he's at that time. They bring him into the station. It's now like the early morning hours, so it's like the next day. It's the 28th now. And the police arrive at apartment 1707, and when they got there, the place was bloody. Bloody. They found Kevin's mom, Kimberly Hill, laying on the floor in her bedroom. She was brutally attacked. They found a hammer next to her body, and there were 3 different notes that were written by Kevin, written and signed by Kevin.
Oh, no.
Now, one of the notes left in the bedroom where the body was said, "Chase me. Sorry for the mess, KD."
Chase me?
Yeah. So I took it like he was telling the cops.
Even though he called?
Mm-hmm.
What
So
the
we'll clear that up in a
hell?
minute.
Oh, Lord.
Another note was to his sister Desiree. It said, "Keep your head up. Hurry, she might be alive, even though I highly doubt it. KD." So he wrote a letter to Desiree because remember Desiree was supposedly supposed to come and pick him up to go and stay with her. I guess she never did. So he thought Desiree was going to be the first person to discover his mom's body. He thought Desiree was going to discover his body, but Desiree never showed up. So that's when he left this house on his bike. And when he was riding, he had made it like to the next little town. He had this overwhelming feeling of guilt. He started crying uncontrollably, and that is when he knocked at these people's door.
Oh, gosh.
So authorities the next day sit down with Kevin in the police department. Kevin is basically like Jeffrey Dahmer, and he gives all the information.
Oh, no.
He said that at 9 p.m. on March 27th, after he had that conversation with his mom, that he was just worked up and did not like her response. And so he took his video game cord. His mom was sitting on the couch in the living room watching TV. He strangled his mom with his cord, but mom was a big woman. She fought back, and she pulled the cord off, and she started to scream. So Kevin panicked. He ran to her bedroom. So he ran to his mom's bedroom because he knew that she kept a hammer in the drawer in her nightstand.
Oh, Lord.
Is that normal?
No, no, I don't do that, and I don't do normal things, so that's not normal.
So
maybe she had just repaired something and she just left. No, she kept it there.
Kept it there.
Maybe she's like not a gun person, so she was like, "I'll just get my
I thought about
hammer."
that. Like she's a single mom. She lives in this apartment complex. Maybe that was like her way of like that's her.
That was
weapon.
her bat.
Or did she know what her son was capable of?
Oh, I don't know.
That's just when I was like, who has a hammer in their nightstand drawer?
Well,
maybe your kitchen drawer.
You do have a small. Yeah, I don't have it in my nightstand drawer. I think I might put it in there though.
Put it there. Send me a picture.
A bunch of random shit in there.
So that's just where my mind went.
He got that hammer. KY jelly.
Next to the KY jelly. Ooh, maybe it was used for other things.
Uh-huh.
He started to hit her in the head with a hammer approximately 20 times.
Oh, shit.
Then he drug her body into her bedroom.
Oh, no.
She was still moaning. So he was like, is she playing dead? So he grabbed the hammer again and he hit her several more times until her skull cracked open. I mean, I can't.
Like a watermelon.
Like a watermelon.
That's the visual.
And did I mention that he's doing his mom this way. Like, this is son doing this to his mom.
Well, I mean, we do have Chandler Halderson, and we do have that weird-ass whoever person you talked about last week who lived with all those cats.
Yes, Verity.
Verity? Was that her name?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Now, that wasn't good enough for Mr. Kevin Davis.
Oh,
he wanted
no.
to make sure she was dead.
Okay, let me think. Did he take her outside and run her over the car?
No.
Did he didn't have a gun. Put her in the oven?
Well, he did go to the kitchen.
Oh.
And he got a knife.
Ooh.
And he grabs this big knife and he sticks it in her opened skull and he mixes her brain matter around like it's
spaghetti,
porridge, soup.
I'm gonna visualize the neighbors sometimes, like on Halloween, you know, where they like have like stick your hand in the brains and it's like a bowl of spaghetti and you're like, and then that's what I think about when
and
I
it
think
probably
about
feels like that, or it probably feels like hamburger meat or something.
I think I'm gonna go
like.
have some spaghetti tonight.
Oh,
sounds really good,
y'all.
Hamburger
that wasn't
helper?
enough though.
Pasta-roni.
And if you're a new listener, we have to laugh through this because it is so.
Yes, I will constantly make light of everything.
So the knife wasn't good enough. He really wanted to make sure she was dead. So he chunked the knife and stuck his hand and decided to.
Oh, just kind of. Maybe he was trying to be an autopsist.
He was fingering her brain.
He was trying to be an autopsist. He was like,
all 5 fingers. He was fisting.
He was fisting her brain.
Oh.
Was he? But let me ask you this: was he getting off on this, like sexually? Was this like
he's about to?
Oh, I knew.
Because next he removed her clothing and he raped his mom's dead corpse.
Where has this story been?
I know.
This is like all
Ed
of
Kemper
the things.
2.0. Except for Ed Kemper just raped his mom's skull. He actually raped his mom's vajayjay.
And then he
tells
put
us
it
all
in a
about
candle and sold it like Gwyneth Paltrow. Just kidding. That was not real. That was just fake. That was a joke.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hi, and welcome to Bustles and Bangers with your hostess, Rachel and Christopher.
I love it when you say my name.
And you didn't say hi.
I didn't. You just kept going. I'm going to introduce the book. I'm not reading it.
It's
because I don't like reading.
girls like cowboy butts, you know, and those jeans don't hide anything.
Find us on Instagram at Bustles and Bangers or on roguemedianetwork.com.
Hola, yo soy Jackie.
Y yo soy Jessica.
Y esto es Zona del Crimen. Un podcast donde hablaremos sobre casos de crímenes reales
y eventos impactantes que han quedado marcados a través del tiempo. Recuerden que nos pueden seguir en Facebook, Instagram
o donde escuches tus podcasts favoritos.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure, for sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those too also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Like saying earlier, you've talked to some people, you want to get some stuff off your chest. We're here to listen to you.
Why are you here? What happened?
And tell us what happened.
Well, has anybody gone to the house yet? Do you really?
We know what happened.
We have, but we want to hear
the beginning, man. What caused all this?
Well, the very beginning, I asked my mother for permission to die, or rather kind of commit suicide, the sort of beating around the bush sort of thing. Because, well, that doesn't really matter why I wanted to kill myself.
Sure it does. Tell us.
I'm bored with life. I don't like life. I don't like people. I don't like living it, basically. There's really anything depressing about it. It just is what it is. And so I wrote the note. I did.
When did you write the note?
Around 6-ish, 7-ish.
Today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay.
That's in the afternoon or morning?
Afternoon.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then
she get upset with you?
Well, no, actually. I mulled it over. And then on a whim, actually, I turned it over, wrote a plan to kill both my mother and my sister, quite frankly, because that's always been a thing of mine. I'm a bit of a pervert.
Yeah. Is it like a fantasy thing?
It is, actually. So, that didn't happen. The best laid plans never work out, apparently, or at least the one scribbled on a piece of paper, because she had decided she was sick of this stuff, and she was going to go send me to live with my sister again. And so I kind of leapt off in a fury and just did it right then and there.
Okay. You did what?
Well, I tried to strangle her with a cord, a ripped cord from a video game console controller. That didn't work, huh?
Where was this at you tried to strangle her?
She was sitting on the couch watching TV.
Okay.
That didn't work out too well. She started screaming, and so I went to her room, opened a drawer at the very bottom to the right. I pulled out a hammer. I went back in the living room, and, well, you kind of get the gist from there. And she was out pretty quickly. Kind of tried to play dead at first, but then I finished it.
So you hit her with a hammer when she was sitting in the sofa in the living room?
No. First, I tried to strangle her, and that didn't work. Right. She grabbed the cord, so I raced back into her room, grabbed the hammer, came back out, and then did it.
How many times did you hit with the hammer in the living room?
At least 20, but then she was still alive. I dragged her into the room, as you probably clearly saw, and then I kind of wormed my hands into her brains to kind of just cut it. She was still snoring.
Okay. So she was still alive?
She was still alive.
And you went in there and you kind of grabbed those brains?
Yeah, I just finished it.
All right. Did you use a knife on her?
Actually, I was going to, but no, I didn't get to do that.
Did you, I guess you never got to stab her with a knife?
No.
It was all with a hammer?
It was all with a hammer in my hand.
Where did you hit her with a hammer?
The head.
All in the head area?
All in the head, I believe. I may have gotten her hand because she was covering herself.
Okay.
Is this in the front or the back of the head?
Top, back, mainly. No, actually the entrance wound is around yonder somewhere here.
Okay.
And then, so when you dragged her to the living room, to the bedroom, you kept on hitting her there?
Yeah, I kind of went.
That's where that's when you reached in and grabbed the brain?
Yeah, I kicked at it a bit. Then I just, that was kind of silly, but then I just decided to reach in and kind of just do it.
And then what did you do after that?
Then I had sex with her corpse.
You did? Did you come inside her?
I did, actually.
Have you ever done that before, like had sex with her?
No, I haven't, actually.
This was just the first time?
Oh, yeah, I lost my virginity to a corpse.
Okay. Did you change in the bathroom?
I did. I took a bath before then. My penis really, that's a little personal, but yeah, I needed to clean it off, and so, and then I changed, yeah.
Okay. What about your sister? What's your sister's name?
Desiree Hill.
Is she okay?
She is okay, yeah.
Okay.
Where should
Okay. Okay. Do you see how he just grazed over And the police was like, did you come in her? Yes, I did. Have you ever done that before? No. I lost my virginity
to my dead mom. Wait, what? Okay. What?
Take a drink.
I'm out. I need another one. I don't even know where they are.
So after he raped his dead mom's corpse, he said he ran him a bath. So you got blood. I have an issue with this. I'm not a bath person. It's gross to me every once in a while.
Oh, I love a bath.
But you already bathe in your own filth, but now you got dead brain and blood all over you, and you still crawl your butt in a bathtub
after he just massaged his mom's brain and had sex with her. What? That's the last thing he cares about, I think. I don't know why he's in a bath. He's probably just exhausted.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, let me just get some eucalyptus and throw that in here.
Gross, Kevin. Gross, Kevin. So I said 3 letters at the beginning of the story. That third letter, he detailed how he had always planned to kill his mom and his sister. And that's why the police at the end ask about his sister, Desiree, if she's okay. Now, his plan when the murder was happening and after his bath is that he was going to leave his mom's house, ride his bike to his sister's house, and kill her. But he was just real spent, like you said.
He was just out. He was like, man, that took a lot out of me.
And he just decided he was just going to run. And he was like, I've had enough killing for the day.
I cannot believe he was a virgin.
He was a virgin. Oh, please Google what he looks like.
Oh, God. What's Kevin Durant? What's his name?
Kevin Davis.
Davis.
Okay. And so that's when he started crying. So instead, he ran. He was like, I'm just going to run and see how far I can get. That's why he said, chase me. So he rode to the next town over, ditched his bike, walked on the railroad a little bit, and then planned to get on a Greyhound bus.
And
that's, yeah. Do you see why he's still a virgin?
But that's his mom?
And that's his mom. And, he was going to get on the Greyhound bus, but that's when he lost it and decided to call the police instead.
Did he have any diagnosis of stuff before this? So is he a school
There was no disabilities in the school records. He is funny looking, he is funny, y'all.
Yeah,
this guy is funny looking. He looks evil. He puts me in the mind of the kid that killed the teacher in the bathroom and willed her body. Used to do that story. That's who he puts me in the mind.
Yeah.
So during the interview, you can watch this whole interview. It's on YouTube. They actually call the sister and they leave a voicemail for the sister because during this time, the sister still doesn't know what's going on. They asked him later on in the interview if he felt sorry. We might as well leave these on because I got more.
Okay.
If he felt sorry for what he did to his mom. And let's hear his response.
You feel sorry you did this to your mom?
In a way, yes, but I wouldn't take back what I did. It's strange, really. I did love her. In a way.
Has she been mean to you?
Oh, no, she's been the best mother.
Okay, so she is nothing that she did?
Oh, absolutely nothing, no.
If I was to ask you, what did she do to deserve this, what would you answer?
Absolutely nothing. I'm a
terrible
cruel,
person.
disgusting person, yeah, basically.
How'd you come up with the idea to kill her and have sex with her?
How did I come up with it?
Yeah, was it?
It's been a developing idea.
But you haven't gotten ideas from games or videos, or you're not into some of those dark games?
Some things inspired me, but they did not necessarily plant the seed.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? They didn't plant the seed, but they did egg me on, rather, I guess.
Is that the books you've been reading?
Not necessarily. I watch them. I recently got into watching some foreign movies, creepy stuff, not necessarily mainstream horror, the kind of stuff that you keep away from.
Oh, okay. So are you into witchcraft? Anything like that?
No. Not right. I guess it sounds kind of strange.
I'm just interested because it's something unusual, and you're here telling us about it, and you appear to be a nice guy. You appear to be a good guy. You're not yelling and screaming at us.
You seem very rational.
You're very rational. You're pretty a good guy. This is what I'm trying to figure out. That's all.
Well, despite how I ended her life, I'm kind of more fascinated by the more artistic ways of murder, a meticulous manner, the way they cut them open.
You didn't do any of that.
Slice them to pieces. Such care, such love.
Where did the hammer come from that you used?
From her drawer.
Okay.
Yes.
And then after you killed her, you just left it there? The hammer?
I did.
Yes, because you saw a hammer there.
So he describes how he would have preferred to kill her because he respects the precision and the artistic way of some people, how they killed. It is, he just kind of glazes over a lot of things, and he talks about it kind of like we talk about it, but we didn't perform the act, right? He goes on to tell them that he is not mentally disturbed at all and that he was sane. He is just a disgusting, gross person, and that he knew what he did and when he was doing it, and he knew it was wrong. And so the police are very good at asking him things because what's this going to happen? It's going to be played in a trial soon, right? So just in case he tries to say, oh, sorry, I was crazy, they have this footage of him saying otherwise. And during the interview, the whole interview is about 40 minutes long, and I'm just kind of giving you the highlights. They ask him, does he think he will ever kill again? So remember they asked him why he didn't kill his sister. He said he had enough killing for the day. And so he says, yeah, I'm going to be honest. Since I'm being honest, I'm going to kill again. And he actually had another confession.
Oh!
Yeah.
To keep on, with other fantasies, or how do you feel?
I came here to pay for my crimes, so I guess I should continue with the truth. Truthfully.
Yes, definitely.
I would kill again.
How about us? You think you want to kill us?
Oh, no. Rather, men aren't my thing, actually.
Women?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't. I've never had a girlfriend.
No.
I'll tell you what, give me your fancy of killing a woman. What would your fancy killing would be? Your ace killing, what would that be?
This is a little peculiar. I'm on camera. Okay,
I'm not surprised at what I'm going to hear, but you tell me.
Maybe dressing up in a nice suit, sneaking into her house, disabling her boyfriend. I'd bring a pretty dress with me to dress her up in. I was always into strangling, but after that last blunder, I guess maybe something big and sharp would be more along my thing. Then I could, probably decapitate her, as I prefer my women dead.
Okay.
I would dress her up. I'd stitch her up. Kind of try to work the head back on, perhaps. And then I'd go to town, and it would be a night to remember. And then I'd kind of just burn everything and run for the hills.
You mentioned that you lost your virginity to a corpse.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What happened?
Oh, well, just last night, my mother, yeah.
Okay, not somebody else. You're talking about your mom.
Yes.
Okay, so before that you had never had sex?
Well, I guess since I'm being quiet about it, I might as well tell you now. And it's on the note too, the PS part. We used to have a gray cat named Claire. Oh yeah, Beastiality is a thing of mine too. Now you know. No. And so I strangled it, I drowned it, and then I cut it open and you know the rest. Kind of get the rest.
You had sex with the cat, with the dead cat?
Yeah, ripped it open, stuck it in there. Yeah.
You ever had sex with a live person?
No. No.
So that your thing of having sex with a live person, that doesn't turn you on. It's dead thing, dead person, dead animals. That's what turns you on.
I don't necessarily mind. I don't have standards or morals. Body's a body, and in the end, piece of meat. I guess it's harsh to say, but no, I don't necessarily mind.
How about the idea of hurting yourself? Do you have the same idea now?
Huh?
Do you have the same idea that you want to hurt yourself, commit suicide?
No, it's over for me. I'll face the music. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Sex with a dead cat was not on my bingo card. That was not on my bingo card. Wait a second.
Oh God!
First of all,
Claire, he lost his virginity to Claire.
Hang on, let me grab my holy water. I need to sprinkle it. Okay, so first of all, I feel like he's like making all this up. Like I feel like he's just wanting to be profound and like, oh, I would cut her open and then I would stitch her up and I would put her decapitate her and put her head back on. And he's wanting to be some notorious and like saying all this stuff.
But he didn't. He impulsively did a.
But he did a shitty,
yeah,
with the hammer, and you're not smart enough, or you're just lazy, or.
What serial killers did you hear? Did you think of when he was describing what he wanted to do?
All the big ones.
Brodus, he would dress up his people, right? He dressed up his women in like nice dresses. Decapitation. So I guess that's a little bit of Kemper.
Yeah.
Did anybody sew their heads back on? I guess that would be some Ed Gein. He would sew fake faces onto people. Ed Gein. Anyway, so you could tell I'd been watching some stuff, and then he was picking the worst parts of what he thought.
What
the cat?
So I bet you literally fell out of you were driving your car and you fell out of your car, ran yourself over, and then had to revive yourself because you died so hard.
He strangled the cat. He drowned the cat. Then he cut it open and went to town. How about how he described the dead corpse? Then I would go to work and it would be a night to remember, doing the dead woman's body.
That was part of the thing where I thought he was malingering.
What?
I learned big words when I'm in trial.
Trying to sound bigger than he is.
Yeah, feigning, just like making it up to sound cooler or to sound better. Like I feel like he was just saying those things because he thought he wanted to be like that, but he never would have done that because he went to this easiest target, his mom, who he lived with.
Yeah.
He didn't even try to he didn't hunt anybody out and didn't prepare things. He was never going to be. I think he wanted to be a big
because killer. Even if his mom was the ultimate person he wanted to kill,
I don't even think he really wanted to. Like you said, she was great. There was no reason for doing that. He didn't fantasize about that.
He did fantasize. He said he had started fantasizing about it in his preteens. So 13, 14-ish. And so they asked him if he had ever got any mental help, talk to a therapist or anything. And he says, no, I just chalked it up to that. That's just me and that's my personality. So that's just who I am. He never really knew that he was going to act on it that night. He just did. He was like, tonight's the night, it's now or never.
That is just wow.
He did the
most.
It lets me know that evil is real. Kemper, it's okay, his mom was horrible to him. I can see why he would want to kill his mom, right? But supposedly, according to both of the kids and the people around them, she was a good mom. A decent mom. And so what's the function behind your behavior besides you're just purely evil? After all of this, he was booked and he was charged with 1 count of non-capital murder. So the death penalty was off the table. So it was just basic murder. So they weren't able to get capital murder out of this. And I don't, like, whatever our Texas rules are for capital murder, this murder did not fall into that criteria.
What?
So he was
okay. I don't understand that.
Sentenced to life in prison, but he is eligible for parole in 2044.
Why?
He would be, because he's so young. And so I heard one podcast or one news reporter that said that because he was so young, he had just turned 18, that if they had given him the death penalty at that young of an age, they would worry about it being overturned later on. So they were safe with giving him life. He would be 48 years of age before he's eligible for parole in 2044.
That's great. He says he's going to kill again, so let's go ahead and make him eligible for parole. Hopefully at parole, we can go and be like, no.
Yeah, or hopefully at least his sister is. And this is what's crazy about this story is that the sister has never done an interview. She's like never wrote a book. She's never, nothing. Like she hasn't come out and said, yeah, we always knew, or I'm so shocked he was the sweetest kid. She just like been silent all this time. So we have, and I don't know what she's scared of. I would probably want to forget it too. One, your brother was going to come and kill and rape you. He did that to your mom. So I have to think, were they kind of ugly to them? Because you see a lot of happy pictures with the sister and the mom. And so was he the outcast? He didn't have a dad. He didn't have friends. Loneliness does a lot to somebody. So did that loneliness push him to that point? But I'm not blaming anybody. It just makes me wonder, like,
just have a dark
that's why
soul.
we don't have
just
any.
A dark soul.
He is scary. Like, not many stories do I just like stop and walk away.
He doesn't seem to have any like
empathy.
I mean, zero for sure. But he just seemed to just, oh, this happened and this is what I did, and then I fucked the cat, and then I did this, and like, oh, I killed this and I strangled this.
I prefer my women dead.
I prefer them dead. I want to cut their head off, set back on. Like, okay.
But there's nothing that we can draw. Everybody else we've been able to like trace back to their childhood and say, okay, this might explain it. We
No
don't
porn.
know enough.
No sexual assault.
No sexual assault. He had an abandoned dad. His dad abandoned him.
Well, I mean, that's
yeah.
You gotta just
deal with that.
You're not murdering your.
He is funny looking.
Yeah, I think he probably had some unaddressed issues.
Undiagnosed.
Yeah,
something.
undiagnosed. But
go to our page and check out what Mr. Kevin Davis looks at. Kevin Jezreel Davis. So you know I had to Google
Jezreel.
You know I had to Google Kevin Davis Sr. or Jezreel Davis Sr. just to see if I could find the dad, because the dad supposedly in the video they asked about his dad and they said, I think my dad's in Fort Worth somewhere. I don't know. He's an idiot. So Mr. Kevin Davis's dad, if you're out there, will you please contact Bloody Happy Hour podcast? I'd love to interview you.
Do you have any other kids?
Do you have any other kids we should
Do you
be
have
calling?
a current wife? Because you might want to watch out whenever your son gets released from jail.
In 2044. He can live a full life at 48 years of age.
Yep.
If they let him out.
Oh, Lord, I hope they don't let that kid out.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Wow.
Done.
What a story.
Done.
I was not expecting that.
I know. I don't know.
Twisty twist.
I don't know where that story's been my whole life.
Wow.
There it is. Okay, y'all. That is it. If you love this episode, send it to somebody that you know and love, or somebody that you want to gross out.
Yeah.
You know, either one.
Yeah.
And if you're listening on the Spotify app right now, scroll up to the top and push one of the stars and go ahead and rate us. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app right now, go push us a star and then give us a review. Write one in there and we will read it next week. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Always. Always, always, always.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.